What if the most powerful medicine you could possibly use was already sitting in your kitchen, already growing in your garden, already available at every grocery store on the planet for a few dollars? The plants that humans have been healing themselves with for thousands of years are not lost, not rare, not locked away. They are sitting right in front of you, hiding in plain sight while you drive past the pharmacy. To pick up something synthetic that does the same job less efficiently and with a longer side effect list. Today I'm walking you through 20 of them. Number 3 on this list has over 300 clinical studies behind it. And number 1 has been described in a 2,000-year-old medical tradition as a cure for everything except death. And the research is now confirming that description was not an exaggeration. Here are 20 medicinal plants that will heal you instantly. Let's get into it. Number 20. Lavender. The purple field most people treat as a candle scent and clinical researchers treat as a legitimate anxiety medicine. Lavandula angustifolia has been used for centuries for calming the nervous system, sleep, and headaches. A standardized oral lavender oil preparation has been tested in multiple randomized controlled trials for generalized anxiety disorder, showing reductions comparable to pharmaceutical anti-anxiety medications. Out. Without the dependency and withdrawal those drugs carry. It is approved as an anxiety treatment in several European countries. Inhaled lavender aroma measurably reduces cortisol and improves sleep quality and physiological markers, not just subjective report. Lavender didn't get sidelined as medicine because it stopped working. It got sidelined because it became too successful as a fragrance. Those purple fields were always a pharmacy. Use it as oral standardized lavender oil capsules for anxiety, strong lavender tea before bed for insomnia, diffused essential oil for cortisol reduction. Number 19 is in most people's spice cabinet, and Greek scholars wore it on their heads while studying for a reason modern neuroscience has now confirmed. Number 19. Rosemary. The kitchen herb that protects your brain, sitting between the other cooking herbs where nobody gives it a second thought is medicine. Studies show that simply being in a room diffused with rosemary aroma produces measurable improvements in speed and accuracy on cognitive tasks. The compound 1-cineol in rosemary, essential oil, crosses the blood-brain barrier and inhibits an enzyme that breaks down acetylcholine, the same mechanism targeted by pharmaceutical drugs for Alzheimer's disease. Rosmarinic acid has documented antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, protecting cells from oxidative damage. Greek scholars wore rosemary garlands while studying. Shakespeare wrote rosemary for remembrance. They were observing a real pharmacological effect. Use it as rosemary tea for mental clarity. Diffused rosemary essential oil for cognitive performance. Fresh rosemary added generously to daily meals as consistent low-dose neuroprotection. Number 18 became so normalized as a bedtime beverage that people forgot it was medicine, until researchers found its active compound binds to the same brain receptors as Valium. Number 18. Chamomile. The gentle grandmother's tea operating through the same neurological mechanism as pharmaceutical anti-anxiety drugs. Matricaria chamomilla contains apigenin, and apigenin binds to benzodiazepine receptors in the brain, the exact receptors targeted by pharmaceutical anti-anxiety medications like Valium. A randomized controlled trial confirmed chamomile extract produced significant reductions in generalized anxiety disorder symptoms compared to placebo. Long-term chamomile use reduced the rate of anxiety relapse. For sleep, chamomile improves sleep quality and reduces onset time, particularly in elderly populations where pharmaceutical sleep aids carry significant risks. Anti-inflammatory properties support digestive health and wound healing. 2,000 years of healers reaching for those small white flowers were working with a real pharmacological tool. Use it as 2 to 3 cups of strong chamomile tea daily for anxiety and digestive support. Chamomile extract capsules for consistent dosing. Cooled chamomile tea applied topically for skin inflammation. Number 17 is in your toothpaste and your chewing gum, and it outperformed acetaminophen for headache relief in clinical trials. Number 17. Peppermint. The cooling herb managing 3 distinct medical conditions simultaneously. Mentha piperita contains menthol, and menthol's applications go far beyond surface cooling. For tension headaches, multiple clinical trials show peppermint oil applied to temples produces pain relief equivalent to acetaminophen. For irritable bowel syndrome, enteric-coated peppermint oil capsules are now included in gastroenterology guidelines as an effective first-line treatment. Menthol relaxes smooth muscle in the gut, reducing cramping and spasms. For respiratory congestion, menthol is a clinically validated decongestant. Traditional uses for headache, stomach pain, and chest congestion, going back thousands of years across cultures that had no contact with each other, are all explained by this chemistry. Most pharmaceutical drugs address one condition. Peppermint addresses three. Use it as peppermint oil diluted in carrier oil applied to temples for headaches. Enteric-coated peppermint oil capsules for IBS, not regular capsules. Peppermint tea for digestive support and congestion. Number 16 was the standard winter medicine in every European household for centuries, until randomized controlled trials confirmed it shortens the flu by 4 days, and nobody could figure out how to sell that as a pill. Number 16. Elderberry. The dark purple berry Hippocrates called his entire medicine chest, confirmed in clinical trials to shorten influenza by 4 days. Sambucus nigra was the first response to colds and flu across European medicine, until synthetic pharmaceuticals arrived and retired it as old-fashioned. Multiple randomized controlled trials confirmed elderberry extract reduces both duration and severity of influenza. One study found flu patients taking elderberry extract recovered 4 days sooner than placebo. A meta-analysis confirmed the finding across multiple studies. The anthocyanins and flavonoids interfere with viral replication while simultaneously activating immune defenses, a dual action that explains why the effect is so pronounced. Elderberry didn't stop working. Nobody can patent a berry in the hedgerow. Use it as elderberry syrup. 1 tablespoon daily through winter for prevention, several tablespoons at the first sign of illness. Simmer dried elderberries with water, honey, ginger, and cinnamon. Strain and bottle. Number 15 has been healing burns faster than conventional wound care in multiple clinical trials, and it's in a pot in millions of homes. Right now being treated as decoration. Number 15. Aloe vera. 6,000 years of medicinal use, still healing burns faster than standard pharmaceutical wound care. Aloe barbadensis contains over 75 active compounds, including polysaccharides, glycoproteins, and anthraquinones. Multiple clinical trials found aloe vera gel produces faster healing of burns and post-surgical wounds compared to standard medical treatments, including petroleum-based dressings. One systematic review concluded aloe vera healed first and second-degree burns measurably faster than conventional wound care. Anti-inflammatory properties support irritable bowel and reflux when the juice is taken internally. Ancient Egyptian records called it the plant of immortality. 6,000 years of continuous use and clinical trials confirming faster healing times than the pharmaceutical alternative. It is sitting on your windowsill. Use it as fresh gel applied directly to burns, cuts, and skin irritation immediately after injury. Aloe vera juice for gastrointestinal inflammation, with the latex layer removed. Topical application for eczema and inflammatory skin conditions. I want to pause here for a moment, not to interrupt but because if you're watching this far in, you deserve more than a list. I put together a complete practical guide for everything we're covering: how to source each plant, how to prepare it correctly, and how to use it at the right moment. It's in the first pinned comment below. No pressure. But if you're serious about this, it's there. Now let's keep going. Number 14. Turmeric, the golden root that pharmaceutical companies have spent billions trying to replicate. Curcuma longa contains curcumin yatird, with anti-inflammatory effects so significant that pharmaceutical companies have invested enormous resources developing synthetic versions. Chronic inflammation is the underlying driver of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, cancer, and arthritis simultaneously. Clinical trials have demonstrated improvements in arthritis symptoms comparable to pharmaceutical anti-inflammatory drugs. Research has shown protective effects on brain health and cardiovascular disease markers. The Ayurvedic practice of golden milk, turmeric with black pepper, turns out to be pharmacologically precise. Piperine in black pepper increases curcumin bioavailability by up to 2,000%. Ancient India figured that combination out before anyone understood why it worked. Use it as 1 teaspoon of turmeric with black pepper in warm milk or water daily. The pepper is not optional. Standardize curcumin extract with piperine for therapeutic doses. Add to cooking consistently for ongoing anti-inflammatory benefit. Number 13 has over 300 clinical studies behind it. and was the primary medicine of entire indigenous civilizations, until the pharmaceutical era declared it unscientific and then spent a century confirming it worked. Number 13. Echinacea. 300 published clinical studies dismissed and then confirmed. The Plains tribes of North America used echinacea as their primary medicine. When European settlers encountered it, it became one of the most widely prescribed medicines in 19th century America. Then it was dismissed as unscientific folk medicine. Meta-analyses of multiple randomized controlled trials confirmed that echinacea preparations reduce both the likelihood of developing upper respiratory infections and the duration and severity when infections occur. Alkylamides and polysaccharides interact directly with immune cells, modulating immune activity for a faster response to pathogens. A quality echinacea preparation produces a characteristic tingling sensation on the tongue from the alkylamides. If you feel nothing, the product is degraded. Use it as tincture at the first sign of illness. Tinctures preserve alkylamides better than capsules. Take consistently through the first days of illness. Dried herb tea for ongoing immune support through winter. Number 12 has been used on 5 continents for 5,000 years and outperforms pharmaceutical anti-nausea medications in clinical trials. Number 12. Ginger. 5,000 years, 5 continents, and clinical trials that keep outperforming pharmaceutical nausea drugs. Zingiber officinale contains gingerols and shogalls with documented anti-nausea, anti-inflammatory, and analgesic effects. Multiple randomized controlled trials found ginger as effective as pharmaceutical anti-nausea medications for chemotherapy-induced nausea, post-surgical nausea, and pregnancy morning sickness, in some studies performing better with fewer side effects. For pain and inflammation, ginger extract significantly improves osteoarthritis pain and post-exercise muscle soreness through the same molecular pathways as NSAIDs. For digestion, it accelerates gastric emptying, the mechanism behind thousands of years of traditional use. Every major ancient medical tradition on Earth arrived at this plant independently. Use it as fresh ginger tea. Simmer sliced root 10 minutes. Ginger powder or slices for nausea at onset. Ginger extract capsules for consistent anti-inflammatory dosing for arthritis or muscle pain. Number 11 is in your spice drawer right now, and laboratory research has found its primary compound outperforms pharmaceutical antifungals in certain applications. Number 11. Oregano, the pizza herb with an antifungal compound more potent than fluconazole in laboratory research. Origanum vulgar contains carvacrol and thymol, 2 phenolic compounds with documented antimicrobial, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory properties. Carvacrol has shown antifungal activity against Candida species that in some laboratory comparisons exceeded the activity of fluconazole. The standard pharmaceutical antifungal. Oregano oil has demonstrated antibacterial activity against a range of pathogens, including antibiotic-resistant strains in vitro. Traditional use for respiratory infections, digestive complaints, and wound treatment across Mediterranean cultures is explained by these mechanisms. The gap between how casually people treat oregano as a pizza topping and how seriously laboratory researchers treat its active compounds is one of the widest on this list. Use it as oil of oregano diluted in water or a carrier oil for antifungal and antimicrobial support. Not long-term, at high doses without guidance. Fresh or dried oregano used generously in cooking for consistent low-dose antimicrobial benefit. Number 10 is officially recognized by the British National Health Service for a specific respiratory condition, and almost nobody outside the UK knows about it. Number 10. Thyme, officially recognized by the NHS for acute bronchitis and performing equivalently to the pharmaceutical expectorant in clinical trials. Thymus vulgaris contains thymol and carvacrol and has been evaluated in clinical trials for acute bronchitis, with results significant enough for inclusion in German official treatment guidelines and NHS recognition. A randomized trial comparing thyme syrup to a pharmaceutical expectorant found equivalent improvements in bronchitis symptoms with fewer side effects. Thymol has documented expectorant and bronchodilatory effects, loosening mucus and opening airways simultaneously. The antimicrobial properties address the underlying infection, while the expectorant properties relieve the symptom. Traditional European herbalism used thyme tea for every type of respiratory infection. The mechanism confirms every application. Use it as strong thyme tea for respiratory infections. Steep 15 minutes. Drink 3 to 4 cups during illness. Thyme syrup with honey for cough and bronchitis. Fresh thyme added to soups and broths during illness. Number 9 addresses the exact neurological mechanism that makes sleep medication work, without creating the dependency that makes stopping sleep medication so difficult. Number 9. Valerian, the sleep root that modulates GABA receptors without the dependency profile of pharmaceutical benzodiazepines. Valeriana officinalis contains valerianic acid and isovaleric acid, compounds that interact with GABA-A receptors, the primary inhibitory receptors in the brain targeted by benzodiazepine sleep medications. Valerian modulates these receptors without the receptor desensitization that creates dependency. Clinical trials show valerian improves sleep quality, reduces onset time, and decreases nighttime waking, with the most significant effects after 2 to 4 weeks of consistent use. Research has confirmed anxiolytic effects comparable to low-dose diazepam in some studies, without sedation or morning cognitive impairment. Millions of people currently cannot stop taking benzodiazepines because withdrawal is genuinely dangerous. A plant addressing the same mechanism without that consequence is not a minor alternative. Use it as valerian root tea or tincture 30 to 60 minutes before sleep. Effects compound over 2 to 4 weeks, not a single night solution. Combine with lemon balm or passion flower for enhanced effect. Number 8 contains the only food-derived compound ever shown to stimulate actual regeneration of liver cells. Not protect them, but regenerate them. Number 8. Milk thistle, the only plant compound shown to stimulate actual hepatocyte regeneration, used in conventional European medicine for liver conditions. Silybum marianum contains silymarin, used in conventional medicine across Europe for liver conditions, including toxic liver damage and chronic hepatitis. It works through multiple mechanisms: antioxidant protection of liver cells, anti-inflammatory activity in hepatic tissue, inhibition of toxin binding to liver cell membranes, and stimulation of protein synthesis in hepatocytes, enabling actual cell regeneration. A systematic review confirmed silymarin's efficacy for liver damage caused by alcohol, pharmaceuticals, and environmental toxins. The liver processes every toxin, pharmaceutical, and metabolic byproduct the body encounters. The plant that regenerates it is relevant to every person living in the modern world, not just those with diagnosed liver disease. Use it as standardized milk thistle extract with 70 to 80% silymarin content. Consistent daily use rather than occasional dosing. Milk thistle tea for gentle ongoing support. Number 7 was compared directly against pharmaceutical antidepressants in a Cochrane review of 29 randomized trials, and the results made a lot of people in the pharmaceutical industry uncomfortable. Number 7. St. John's wort. A Cochrane review of 29 randomized trials found it similarly effective to standard antidepressants for mild to moderate depression, with substantially fewer side effects. Hypericum perforatum contains hypericin and hyperforin, compounds that modulate serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine reuptake simultaneously, which is the mechanism of action of most modern antidepressant medications. The Cochrane review analyzed over 5,000 patients and found St. John's wort significantly more effective than placebo, and similarly effective to standard antidepressants for mild to moderate depression, with a substantially better side effect profile. That is not fringe research, that is Cochrane. The plant was effectively suppressed in the United States at exactly the time clinical evidence for its efficacy was strongest. Critical note: St. John's wort significantly affects the cytochrome P450 enzyme system and reduces the effectiveness of numerous medications, including contraceptives and certain heart medications. Professional guidance required when combined with any pharmaceutical. Use it as standardized extract standardized to hypericin or hyperforin content. Consistent daily use for 4 to 6 weeks before assessing full effect. Not to be combined with SSRIs, contraceptives, or anticoagulants without physician oversight. Number 6 produces a physical barrier inside your digestive tract that no pharmaceutical can replicate, and simultaneously reduces the inflammation in the tissue it covers. Number 6. Marshmallow root, the demulcent herb forming a physical protective barrier in the digestive tract, documented since ancient Greek medicine. Althea officinalis contains mucilage, polysaccharides that dissolve in water to form a thick gel. This gel coats the lining of the mouth, throat, esophagus, stomach, and intestines, forming a physical protective layer that allows inflamed tissue to heal underneath it. This is not a conventional anti-inflammatory mechanism, it is a mechanical barrier. Clinical research has confirmed efficacy for irritable cough, gastric reflux, gastritis, and irritable bowel symptoms. For dry cough and sore throat, marshmallow root cold infusion forms a protective coating in the throat that is uniquely effective for dry, scratchy conditions that other herbs don't address. One of the safest herbs in the materia medica, with essentially no documented adverse effects at normal doses. Use it as cold water infusion. Steep overnight in room temperature water, not hot water, which degrades mucilage. Marshmallow root powder mixed into water for gastrointestinal support. Safe for long-term daily use. Number 5 contains a compound that simultaneously inhibits herpes simplex virus replication and reduces anxiety through 2 completely separate and well-understood mechanisms. Number 5. Lemon balm. Rosmarinic acid with dual documented action against herpes simplex virus and anxiety, hiding in herbal tea blends. Melissa officinalis contains rosmarinic acid, with 2 separate documented mechanisms explaining both traditional applications. For herpes simplex virus, rosmarinic acid inhibits viral replication through interaction with viral surface proteins. Clinical trials show lemon balm cream applied to cold sores significantly reduces healing time, symptom severity, and recurrence frequency. For anxiety, rosmarinic acid inhibits GABA transaminase, the enzyme that breaks down GABA in the brain, increasing available GABA and producing anxiolytic effects without receptor desensitization. A double-blind study confirmed significant anxiety reduction in participants under stress. The same compound addressing a viral infection and an anxiety state through 2 distinct mechanisms is pharmacologically unusual. Lemon balm is sold in grocery stores as gentle herbal tea. It is considerably more than that. Use it as lemon balm cream applied at the first sign of a cold sore, twice daily until healed. Tea or tincture for anxiety and sleep support. Combines effectively with valerian for sleep, with passion flower for acute anxiety. Number 4 has been used across Ayurvedic medicine for 3,000 years, and the number of published clinical trials behind it now rivals some of the most studied herbs on this list. Number 4. Holy basil, your Tulsi. The adaptogen with documented effects on cortisol, blood sugar, and immune function across clinical research. Western medicine has largely declined to engage with because the plant cannot be patented. Oxymum tenuiflorum contains eugenol, rosmarinic acid, and ursolic acid, compounds that modulate the HPA axis, reducing cortisol under stress while supporting adrenal function. Clinical trials have found Tulsi supplementation significantly improves stress, anxiety, and cognitive function scores. A randomized trial found meaningful reductions in fasting blood glucose, total cholesterol, and triglycerides after 12 weeks, 3 separate metabolic markers addressed by one plant. Significant antimicrobial and immunomodulatory effects are also documented. The breadth of biological activity across cortisol, blood glucose, cholesterol, immune function, and cognition in a single plant is what earned it the classification as a supreme tonic in Ayurvedic medicine for 3,000 years. Use it as fresh Tulsi leaves, steeped 3 to 5 minutes as daily tea. Dried Tulsi in capsules for standardized dosing. A Tulsi plant on your kitchen window provides fresh leaves at essentially no ongoing cost. Consistent daily use for 4 to 6 weeks for measurable effects. Number 3 has clinical performance for wound healing, directly compared against pharmaceutical topical antibiotics, with results that the pharmaceutical and cosmetic industries have preferred to keep in specialty literature. Number 3. Calendula, the orange garden flower whose wound healing performance has been compared directly against pharmaceutical topical treatments in clinical trials. Calendula officinalis contains triterpenoids, flavonoids, and polysaccharides with documented anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and tissue-regenerating properties. A clinical trial comparing calendula cream to a standard pharmaceutical topical treatment for post-surgical wound healing found calendula performed comparably in healing speed and infection prevention. Research confirmed calendula's efficacy for radiation-induced dermatitis, significant enough that several oncology protocols now include it as a complementary treatment. The wound healing mechanism involves direct stimulation of granulation tissue formation, the biological process of new tissue growth over damaged areas. Calendula grows in virtually any garden, blooms continuously, and produces one of the most effective topical wound treatments most people will never think to apply to a cut. Use it as calendula-infused oil or cream, applied directly to wounds, burns, rashes, and skin inflammation. Calendula tea, 1 tablespoon of dried flowers per cup, 2 to 3 cups daily for internal inflammatory conditions. Infuse dried flowers in olive oil for 4 weeks for a home topical preparation. Number 2 is the plant Hippocrates prescribed for more conditions than any other, documented in over 20 separate preparations in Egyptian medical papyri, and present in every major ancient medical tradition on Earth, independently, without any contact between those traditions. Number 2. Garlic. The most studied antimicrobial food in history, sitting in a bowl on your kitchen counter right now. Allium sativum has been used medically for 5,000 years. Hippocrates prescribed it. Ancient Egyptian papyri document it in over 20 preparations. Greek Olympians ate it before competition. Roman soldiers consumed it for infection resistance. Every major ancient medical tradition on Earth arrived at garlic independently. Allicin, produced when a clove is crushed or chopped, has documented antimicrobial activity against bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites, including antibiotic-resistant strains such as MRSA. A landmark randomized controlled trial found people taking daily garlic supplements had significantly fewer colds through winter and recovered faster when they did get sick. Meta-analyses confirmed garlic supplementation meaningfully reduces blood pressure in hypertensive patients and improves LDL cholesterol and arterial function. Raw crushed garlic, rested 10 minutes before consuming, delivers the highest lysine content. Use it as 2 raw cloves daily. Crushed, rested 10 minutes, then consumed. Aged garlic extract supplements for cardiovascular benefits. Add generously to cooking consistently for ongoing antimicrobial and cardiovascular benefit. And now, number 1. The seed described in a 2,000-year-old medical tradition as a cure for everything except death. The compound at its center has been studied across more conditions than almost any single plant compound in the modern research literature. Number 1. Black seed, Nigella sativa. The seed that tradition called a cure for everything except death, and that clinical research is systematically confirming. Nigella sativa has been used medicinally for over 2,000 years across the Middle East, South Asia, and North Africa. Black seed was found in the tomb of Tutankhamun. The ancient medical tradition recorded, "Use this black seed, for it contains a cure for every disease except death." Modern pharmacology has spent decades trying to understand what justified that extraordinary claim. The answer is thymoquinone, and the breadth of its documented biological activity is unlike almost anything else in the plant kingdom. Clinical trials show thymoquinone significantly reduces blood pressure, improves blood sugar regulation in type 2 diabetes, reduces total cholesterol while increasing HDL, demonstrates antimicrobial activity against drug-resistant bacteria, produces measurable bronchodilatory effects for asthma, shows significant reductions in CRP and inflammatory markers, and has demonstrated anti-cancer properties in cell line research significant enough to generate serious pharmaceutical interest. A meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials confirmed black seed supplementation meaningfully reduces systolic and diastolic blood pressure. Multiple trials confirmed improvements in blood sugar control comparable to pharmaceutical interventions. A single seed, freely available in markets for 2,000 years, addressing that range of conditions through documented peer-reviewed mechanisms. The ancient description was not an exaggeration. It was an observation refined over 2,000 years of careful attention. Use it as 1 teaspoon of cold-pressed black seed oil daily, mixed with raw honey to improve palatability, whole seeds added to bread, salads, and grain dishes. Consistent use over 8 to 12 weeks for the most significant effects across cardiovascular, inflammatory, and metabolic markers. Cold-pressed, unrefined oil preserves the thymoquinone content that heat processing degrades. Before I close, I want to say something directly. You just watched through 20 medicinal plants. Every single one. Most people won't. Most click away before the list reaches the plants with the most extraordinary research. But you stayed. So here's how I want to thank you. Everything we covered today, how to source each plant, how to prepare it, how to dose it, how to build a practical daily routine, I put into a complete guide. And right now, for anyone who made it to the end of this video, I'm offering 20% off. Use the code FULLVIDEO at checkout. The link is in the first pinned comment below. No countdown, no pressure. The code is FULLVIDEO. The most powerful medicines are not always the most expensive or the most complicated. Sometimes they are the plant on your kitchen counter, the flower in your garden, the herb in your spice drawer, the berry in the hedgerow that nobody can patent. Every plant on this list was used for thousands of years by people who had no chemistry labs, no clinical trials, no peer review. They had observation, they had consistency. They had the willingness to pay attention to what happened when people used specific plants over a lifetime. And what they documented, modern research keeps confirming, one study at a time. The medicine was always right there. Now you know what you were looking at. Tell me in the comments, which plant surprised you most? Which one are you already using? Which one made you look at something in your kitchen differently? Share this with someone who deserves to know what has been growing in plain sight for 5,000 years. Subscribe and ring the bell. I'll see you in the next one.